Good evening, students. Today we are supposed to discuss TDS provision. Uh, I hope my screen is visible to you and I am audible. Is it so? Please reply.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Uh, we all know what is the TDS and TCS. Today we are supposed to discuss what are the compliance provision relating to TDS and TCS. We know that on certain payment we are required to deduct TDS and in some time we are required to collect TCS. There are various section, various lot of provision in this regard. It is from 192, 194, 194A, 193, etc., 206C. That is for TCS. Now, that part theoretically, we know that when we are required to deduct TDS, when we are required to deduct collect TCS, etc. Today, we are going to discuss about compliance. First of all, there are number one, the deductor or collector of the TDS or TCS are required to deposit that money to the credit of the government. That is the first part he is supposed to do. Number two, he is supposed to furnish a return. He is supposed to furnish a quarterly return. Generally, uh, he is supposed to furnish a quarterly return. These two, and number third part, he is supposed to issue a certificate to the deductor, to the deductee. These three compliance is required to do after deducting or collecting tax at sources. That means if you are a deductor or collector, you are supposed to deduct the money or collect the money from your from the deductee or collectee. That we know that there are a lot of provision in the income tax law. After deduction, that money is required to be deposited to the credit of the government. First, his duty number one, deposit. Then he is supposed to furnish a return, duty number two. And number three, he is supposed to issue a certificate regarding that deduction or collection to the respective deductee or collectee. So first we are going to discuss deposit. What are the due date for deposit TDS or TCS? We are going to discuss. Then what is the procedure for payment? And then we will shift to our duty number two, that is furnishing of return. Then we will discuss about how to generate, how to issue certificates. Deposits. Ideally, if you deducted any tax in the month of say April 2024, you are required to deposit that money. You are required to deposit that money by 7th of the May 2024. That means 7th day of the next month. I'm discussing when the payment are not supposed to be made by making book entry. That means in case of inter-government department, when they are making payment through only books adjustment, we are not talking about this one. We are talking about real time what my client are supposed to do. In general, if I deducted TDS in the month of April 24, any date of the month of April 24, that it may be 1st April, it may be 25th April 24, it may be 30th April 24. I'm supposed to deposit that money to the credit of the central government by 7th of the May 2024. Similarly, if I deducted any TDS or collected any TDS in the month of May 24, I'm required to deposit that money by 7th of the June 2024 and so on. The only exception is the month of the March. The only exception is the month of the March. If I deducted any tax in the month of March, it may be on 1st March, it may be on 25th March, it may be on 31st March. I'm required to deposit that money to the credit of the government by 30th of the April. That is 30th April 2025. Is it clear to all? That means my first duty after deduction is deposit that money to the credit of the government. For the month of the March, I am required to deposit that money to the credit of the government by 30th of the April. That means within 1 month, within next 1 month. And for remaining months, if I deducted any money, then that money is required to be deposited by the end of the 7th of the next month. Then how to deposit that money we are going to discuss right now. Is it clear? What are the due date? What are the due date? Is it clear to all? These are the due dates. I believe everyone know about these dates. Now we are going to discuss how to deposit that money to the credit of the government. There are two ways. First, we are going to discuss without any login, and then we will discuss after login. If I'm supposed to deposit that money, then how we will do that one. 1 minute, I'm sharing my another screen for doing so. Share this one. For depositing money for payment of TDS or TCS, we are required to visit our income tax site, that is incometax.gov.in. Here you will find in this quick link, there is a e-pay tax. E-pay tax is there. We are supposed to click over here. The same process. Ideally, this is the same process what we have discussed while discussing our payment of taxation. PAN or TAN number. Say I'm providing a TAN number. 1 minute, it should be accurate. Do you know? Do you know what is the TAN number? Is it say it is just like PAN number or it is something different? Anyone? Is it PAN number or TAN number are same or it is different? PAN number is for identification of the assessee as a whole, and TAN number is your tax deduction account number or collection account number. A person may have as many as TAN number. However, a person should have only one PAN number. That means if you have more than one PAN number, you are liable for penalty. However, you may have more than one TAN number depending on your branches. Say I am a big company. I have 25 branches across India. I may have 25 different TAN number. However, PAN for all of the branches, including head office, would remain same. That is the only one PAN number would be there. Be careful, we have multiple TAN number. However, PAN number is single. For a company, a single PAN number would be there. Number two, the structure of PAN number is little bit different than TAN number. The structure of PAN number, we already discussed that first 5 letters are alphabets followed by 4 number and then 1 alphabets. However, in case of TAN number, the structure is again it is a 10 alphanumeric number, 10 digit alphanumeric number, but first 4 letter in the 10 number is alphabets followed by 5 numbers and then 1 more alphabets. It's look like this one. CALL. This is first 4 are the alphabets followed by 5 numbers and then 1 more alphabets. Then 1 more alphabets is there. So the 10 number, the structure, by viewing the structure of the numbers, you can check whether the number given by the SSE or the system is it PAN number or TAN number. PAN number first 4 are alphabets, then 5 numbers. However, in case of PAN number, first 5 alphabets, then followed by 4 numbers only. So this is the PAN number. It is a dummy number. It may or may not work. Further, by looking into this 10 number, if you notice first 3 characters of this 10, this number, initial first 3 letters are CAL. CAL denotes the 10 number is of a person located in Calcutta. If it is in Mumbai, then first 3 letter would be MUN. If it is in Delhi, then DLI. That means depending on the city of the person, of the collector or deductor, the 10 number may vary. Is it clear? So I'm required to provide my mobile number to get an OTP. There is an OTP on my mobile phone number. 1 minute. Continue. Okay, there is some error. 1 minute. One minute. I got another OTP. Yes. Okay, it's still not working. There is some issue with the OTP. The number is correctly inserted by me, but there may be some issue with the system. Okay, we will check this one after some time. Okay. Uh, so this how to make payment. I'm keep that thing in hold. After doing the another part, we will discuss again regarding the how to make payment of TDS or TCS. Okay. Uh, we know that TDS are required to be deposited by these dates, and after depositing TDS, we got a Challan. Challan look like what? 1 minute. I'm going to show you Challan of my another client. The Challan look like this one. In this Challan, in the Challan of TDS, the initial, the income tax department Challan receipt after payment, after making payment, this type of Challan will be generated. Here, initially it is the 10 number of the SSC, then followed by the name, then assessment year, then financial year. Most importantly, the TDS you are required, the section of the under which you are deducting that money, you are required to mention. That means at the time of making payment, you are required to make the payment on the basis of section. If you have deducted TDS under multiple section, then you are required to deposit that amount of TDS in multiple challan. That means for a single section, you are required to use single challan. That means if I have deducted TDS under section say 194H from X as well as from ABC Limited and from Y, that is in the month of say April 2024. This is amounting to rupees 5,000. This is the amount of the TDS. This is amounting to rupees 10,000, and this one from Mr. Y I have deducted rupees 2,000. Then again under section 194A, I have deducted from Mr. P amounting to rupees 2,000, Mr. Q amounting to rupees 3,000, and company called XYZ Limited amounting to rupees 12,000. In this, if this is the position for the month of the April 2024, that means I have deducted TDS in the month of April 24 under section 194H thrice. That is for making payment to Mr. X, I deducted rupees 5,000. For ABC Limited, I deducted 10,000. From Mr. Y, I deducted 2,000. Further, I have deducted TDS under section 194A for Mr. P, Mr. Q, and XYZ Limited. In this case, I am required to deposit entire money by 7th of the May 2024. 7th of the May 2024. Further, how many challan I am required to use, how many time I am required to pay. We are required to use section wise. If we go with section wise, we have two type of section. Two sections are used. So I will use two challan. Further, the challan, the payment should be divided into two parts: corporate SSE and non-corporate SSE. This is considered as a corporate SSE. ABC Limited is considered as a corporate SSE. XYZ Limited is considered as a corporate SSE. On the other hand, X, Y, P, and Q are considered as a non-corporate SSE. In this case, in this example, if I want to pay my TDS by 7th May 2024, I will pay not through a single challan. I will use 4 challan. I will pay this one by using 4 different challan. That means the payment cycle are required to be made 4 times. First, I will clubbed. First, I will prepare a challan for 194H for X and Y. That means of challan of 7,000 is required. That means this one as well as this one. That I will say non-corporate SSE. We can say non-corporate deductee. And again, I will use 194H for rupees 10,000. And this is for corporate SSE, a corporate deductee. And then I will use 194A. That 194A, again, first for non-corporate SSE, I will use 5,000. I will pay 5,000 in a single challan. That is a non-corporate SSE. And again use 194A for rupees 12,000. And that one is for corporate SSE. That means on 7th May 2024 or before that, I will use 4 number of challan. I will pay this liability by using 4 challans. That means we cannot consolidate the payment. We are supposed to make the payment section wise as well as corporate or non-corporate SSE wise. That means we will pay in 4 different challan. Okay, is it clear to all? Anyone have any doubt, any question? Anyone have? Okay, now I'm going to show you, I again trying using this 10 number. Okay, I'm again trying for making payment. For making payment, I'm supposed to visit incometax.gov.in, e-pay tax. We will provide the 10 number. Is it so? Now I'm provide my mobile number. OTP are required to be provided. Nowadays, OTP is more important than password. Here. After that, we will got this type of screen. E-pay tax. We are using 10 number. We are supposed to select the appropriate assessment here. Be careful. If you fail to select the appropriate assessment here, then there is some difficulty you may face. So if I'm deducting TDS in the month of April 24, that denotes it will be for assessment year 25-26. I will use 25-26. Then I will use pay TDS TCS challan. This one, pay TDS TCS challan. I will proceed with this. Here I'm supposed to select under which section I'm going to pay this money. I can search it out or I can filter it. Say I'm using filter. It is 194H. Here it is filter. Here it is commission or brokerage 194H. I will choose this one. Continue. Then the form will ask whether it is a company deductee, other than company deductee or company deductee. We already discussed whether it is a corporate assessee or non-corporate assessee. If I'm making payment for X and Y, that is under section 194H for X and Y, I will use other than company deductee. Then select the amount of TDS. What was the deduction I have made? I have made 7,000 as a deduction. We will use this 7,000. There is no surcharge, cess, etc. there, penalty, interest, etc. nil. So I will use continue. Select the appropriate payment mode. It may be net banking, debit card, RTGS, and gateway payment gateway using UPI and credit card. Generally, I'm making payment through my net banking. Whatever be your bank, you are supposed to select this one. If it is not here, you may try other bank. Here you can, there is a drop down. This number of banks are listed in this. Suppose say my banker is ICICI Bank. So I am going to select this ICICI Bank, then continue. This is the Challan for verification, for confirmation. You may check it whether all informations are correct or not. Be careful. In the Challan itself, we are not supposed to provide the name of the deductee. Be careful. In the Challan itself, we are not supposed to provide the name of the deductee. It is a translated Challan for X and Y against which I have deducted TDS under section 194H, and both of them are non-corporate assessee. Now I will click on pay now. A message would be there. I will agree with these terms and condition. Then when I click over this, it will link the server of the ICICI Bank with this. Now, after providing this information, this is the ICICI Bank server. If you have HDFC, it may vary from bank to bank. The screen afterwards this may vary from bank to bank. I say I am a corporate user, I am a retail user. It may vary from bank to bank. After beyond this point, I'm not going. After say as a retail user, I will going to pay. Then I'm supposed to provide my user ID and password. That payment will be done. I'm not going beyond that part because this is a dummy transaction. We are not supposed to pay it right now. OK, so I am taking back from here. By this way, we are supposed to make payment. After making payment, we got this type of Challan. The name, the PAN number, assessment year, financial year. It is income tax other than company, that is, it is payment for made for non-corporate assessee. It is TDS. Nature of payment is 94J for each, and it is not mistake. It should be ideally it should be 194J. But what happened? Income tax side in making this Challan, they provide a separate code number for each and every section. For this, for 194J, they have provided a code number called 94J that denotes 194J. Amount, how much money I have paid. This is information we required. SIN number. This is a Challan identification number. This Challan has been made by using the gateway of the HDFC. Then these informations are relevant. BSR code, we already know what is the BSR code. The BSR code is a 7-digit number for a particular branch through which we have paid this money. This is the branch of the pay bank. Then Challan number, it is a 5-digit serial number of the Challan, and date of the payment, it is on 7th May 2024. And how much money we have paid, this is the detail we got in the Challan. This information are required while furnishing TDS return. If you have this information along with the amount, then even if you do not have copy of this challan, you may file your return of income. Basically, these three plus the number amount of the tax paid by you on that particular through that particular challan, you are able to file your TDS return. Okay. Basically, these three information plus amount are more relevant rather than the printout of this one. Okay. I believe it is clear to all. Is it clear to all? Anyone have any question? Okay, there is no such question. Is someone, Sanjay Kumar is asking, is any time duration to file 10 number? We are not supposed to file our 10 number. We are required to obtain 10 number. Just using that the procedure which we discussed, how to obtain PAN number. For PAN number, we need 49A. For 10 number, we need 49B. 49B. Once we file 49B form, we will get a 10 number. There is no duration for 10 number. Before making deduction of tax, you should obtain a 10 number. That is the concept. There is no such question. Not worry. Someone is asking repeatedly, I want to know when we get recorded session. Please ask this type of question with ICMI. I'm not the correct person to give all the answer to this query. Okay, sure. Sorry. So there is only this type of query are there. Now, after making payment, after getting that challan, we are supposed to furnish our return of TDS or TCS. What are the due date? First, we are going to discuss TDS return. 1 minute. We paid this month. After this, we are supposed to furnish TDS return. TDS return are required to be furnished quarterly. TDS return are required to be furnished on quarterly basis. What are the quarter? April to June, then July to September, then October to December, and then January to March. There are two types of TDS return we are required to submit. Number one is 24Q and number second is 26Q. And right now we are discussing about resident pay, where pay is the resident, and we are discussing about TDS. We are not discussing about TCS right now, and non-resident pay we are not right now discussing. Right now we are discussing about resident pay. That means the person on whose behalf you deducted TDS is a resident person, and we have deducted TDS. It is not TCS. 24, we are required to furnish two type of return, 24Q and 26Q. 24Q is applicable if you have deducted TDS for salary. If you have paid some salary to your employee and deducted TDS out of that, then you are required to submit form number 24Q. And for remaining section like 193, 194A, 194H, 194, 194C, etc., we are required to deposit. We are required to furnish our return in form 26Q. For 24Q, when it is required, when we have deducted TDS against salary. That means under section 192, we have deducted TDS. We are supposed to furnish return quarterly statement in form number 24Q. For other section, for making payment to resident like 193, 194, 194A, etc., 194H, 194J, 194C, we are supposed to deposit, or even 194Q, we are supposed to deposit, we are supposed to furnish TDS return in form number 26Q. What are the due date? For both of the form, the due date are the same. For April to June, by the end of the 1 month from the end of the quarter is the ideal due date. From the 1 month from the end of this quarter, that is 31st July. 1 month from the end of this quarter, that is 31st October. 1 month from the end of this quarter is 31st January. And for last, if we make it 30th April, then there is problem is that the due date for making payment is 30th April. For the month of the March, the due date for making payment of TDS is 30th April. So it is not possible for me to furnish the return by that date too. So there is advantage. One advantage is given to the last quarter. The TDS return are required to be furnished within 2 months. That is 31st May 2025. We are required to furnish this return. Is it clear? Again, I am repeating what are the due dates for filing TDS return and what type of TDS return we are required to furnish. We are discussing right now if the pay is if the deductee is a resident person. If you are deducting TDS against salary from your employee under section 192, etc., then you are required to furnish a return in form number 24Q. For other section, you are required to submit a return in 26Q, that is on quarterly basis. Whatever deduction you have made in the month of April, May and June, you are required to submit a return by 31st July. That means within the end of the next month. For July to September quarter, again it is 31st October. For October to December, again it is 31st January, and for January to March, it is 31st May. It is the last in the last quarter. Instead of 1 month, there is 2 months time are given. Be careful. For the last quarter, instead of 1 month, there is a 2 month time are provided. 2 month time is given. If for the month of for the quarter April to June, we did not deducted any TDS against salary. In that case, in case we did not deducted any TDS, then we are not supposed to file that form. Suppose I did not deducted any TDS against salary in the quarter April, May, June. In that case, I will not file form number 24Q. If I have deducted only TDS under section 194J, I will furnish 26Q only. For the second quarter, say in the month of July to September, I have deducted TDS against salary as well as 194H, 194J, 194C. For salary, we are required to furnish 24Q, and for this, we are required to submit 26Q. Consolidated return are required to be submitted. That means 2 return we are required to submit by 31st October 2024. Next, if for the quarter ending December, that means for the third quarter, that is October to December, I did not deducted any TDS, neither under section 192, neither under against salary nor against any section. In that case, I will not furnish nil return. There is no concept of filing nil return in case of TDS. Be careful. If you have deducted TDS, then only you are required to file, else you are not supposed to furnish respective return. Similarly, for Jan to March, the same, we are required to file only if we have deducted TDS. If we did not deduct TDS, under say 192, then we are not supposed to furnish 24Q. If we deducted TDS under section 194C only, then we are required to furnish 26Q. In short, payment. How could we make payment? It is section wise and type of SSC wise. Type, that are only two types: corporate SSC or non-corporate SSC. And this should be on monthly basis. And return, regarding return, it is two type: 24Q, 26Q. We are discussing about resident. 24Q salary, and for other section it is 26Q. And again, this is on quarterly basis. Okay, here it is consolidation. That means all sections are required to be merged apart from salary. Is it clear to all? Is it clear to all? Any question till now? What is the difference between both section? Which section? Okay, now we are going to discuss how to file TDS return. There are some query regarding the code number. If you are trying to making payment, one more thing. I'm clearing your doubts. 1 minute. Using this ePay tax. If you search for code number, there is 4DA, 4BB, 4LC are there. Rather than if you are using this section number, it will be helpful for you. Instead of searching by code number, use this one, J. Try to use this section number. Further, the 194J, they have JA, JB, JC, JD like this. Why they are using this number? There are reason that under section 194J, there are 4 type of deductions are there. For professional person, for providing fee for technical services, for director's fees. That means for different type of payment, they are using different code number. Accordingly, this is divided into 4 different parts. Okay, 194J, you may find 194JA, JB, etc. So be careful. Instead of using, when you are using this filter, instead of using this code, use this section number for better clarity. So if you paid TDS wrongly, say you are required to pay TDS under section 194J, but you paid the TDS under section say 194H using that at the time of making payment, you selected 194H. In that case, you are not able to file your 26Q. You are required to modify. You are required to, first of all, you are required to rectify that challan. If If you fail to rectify, then you are not able to file your TDS return against by using 194J. So be careful, be alert at the time of making TDS payment. Use the assessment year, choose the assessment year correctly, as well as section number, etc. correctly. Okay, be careful about this one. I believe it is clear to all. Yes, Dhruviji, you are very correct. Generally, when I'm discussing in theory, I just generally give an insight that they are keeping all of these due date by 31st, say 31st July, 31st October, 31st January, and 31st May. Since after 31st March, the first 31st is only 31st May. Hence, they extended the due date up to 31st May. Correct observation. Dhruvi, your observation is correct. Arnav, you are correct. 26Q is other than for salary person. For salary deduction, it is 24Q. If Vishal is asking that what happened if I did not furnish this TDS return, even though I'm liable to furnish this TDS return by this date, what happened if I fails to furnish this TDS return by the due date? First of all, you are liable to pay late fee of rupees 200 per day of default, subject to maximum of the amount of TDS or TCS involved in the return. 200 rupees per day late fee is applicable on you. So this is the basic consequences which will be there if you fail to submit your TDS or TCS return by due dates. Okay. Now, for filing return, generally I'm using a proprietary software. That means we are buying a software. I'm using that software and filing my TDS return. But right now we are going to discuss how to use a freely available software which is provided by the NSDL. How we will get that software? Search it. TDS return preparation utility. This is the provided by the NSDL. Right, earlier this company is known as NSDL. Now they changed the site Protean-TinPan. We are going to into that one. Here it is. We are required to download this RPU return preparation utility version 5.2. If you are using proprietary software, then you are not supposed to use this one. Ideal, more or less, modus operandi of all the software for TDS returns are same. So after downloading this one, this is the free software. You can download this one. After downloading this, we got this type of file. I unzip this one, TDS RPU underscore 5.2. After unzipping, we got this number of files in this. And in this folder, we will use TDS-RPU window batch file. It is there. I will click on this. We are not supposed to install anything, just download it. This type of the system should have appropriate Java runtime environment. This type of software interface will be there. So I'm required to furnish. This is a free software without any cost, available on the TIN NSDL site, which is right. And now they renamed themselves to Protean. We are using that software. We are not showing any proprietary software. Various software provided by the private companies. It may of Taxman. There are Computex, etc. They are also providing the TDS software. But right now, I'm showing you how to file return using this free software. Okay. So after downloading this, we don't need to install. We run the batch file, and now this interface are there. Is it clear to all? Is it clear to all? Okay, you did not note. My screen is not visible. I'm making it. One minute. After downloading the software from this site, we got this type of file, TDS RPU-5.2. I unzip this one. We got this type of folder. Under this folder, there is a TDS dash underscore RPU. This is a window batch file. We are supposed to click over here. We are not supposed to install any software. However, Java runtime environment should be in there. Appropriate version of Java runtime environment will be there in your machine. Ideally, latest GRE is required. If it is not in your machine, then this utility or will not work. You need Java runtime environment. On clicking this, we will got this type of interface. We will got this type of interface. This is the free utility provided by the TIN-NSTL. On this interface, we will select which form we are required to furnish right now. Say I'm going to furnish form number 26Q. I'm using this one. Whether it is a regular return or there is a correction. What is the correction? Earlier, I have filed a TDS return for the say quarter ending June 2024. After filing, I noticed some error in that return. Say PAN number of the SSE provided by me was wrong. It may happen. So I want to correct those data. I want to correct any information which was already for the return already furnished by me. In that return, I need to rectify that thing. In that case, we will use correction. Otherwise, we will use regular. Right now, we are going to discuss how to generate form number 26Q for a regular filing. So that means no correction. It is a fresh filing for the quarter April to June 2024. Okay, whether I have a the saved version or I want to create it a new one. It is my first time I'm trying. So I am supposed to click to continue. Various time what happened? It may be possible that there are a lot of directory are there. It is not possible for me due to any reason to furnish entire data in a single instance. So I saved the file, and then after a couple of days, I want to furnish add more data in the system. In that case, I'm supposed to save the file, and then again I want to add more data. In that case, I will use this saved regular file. However, in our case, since we are trying to submit 26Q for quarter one, first time we will use click to continue. After pressing this type of interface would be there. First, we are required to provide our detail. What is my TIN number? What is my name, etc. We are required to provide. That means the detail of the deductor are required to be provided. And for that, we are required to select the first financial year for which we are filing this one, say financial year 24-25, and we are required to select the type of deductee. Say I am an individual. I am an individual deductor. And from here, from the top of this window, which quarter I am supposed to file. I'm filing TDS return for financial year 24-25 quarter one. Say in our example, it is April, May, June. So it is quarter one. Be careful, it is not calendar quarter, it is financial year quarter. Calendar quarter may be April, first quarter would be January to March. No, in our income tax practice, we will use financial year as a year, and accordingly, we will select Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Q1 denotes April to June 2024 in this case. So we have selected financial year 24-25. type of deductor, individual HUF, and we have selected quarter of the financial year. Now they are asking 10 number asterisk. I believe everyone know about that one. If in a particular field there is an asterisk mark, that means that field is mandatory. I am providing 10 number. Okay. Is there any other 10 number you are using? No, I'm not using other 10 number. Permanent account number. I'm using pen number of some 1 minute. Is this a revised return? No, this is not a revised return. In case it is a revised return, that means correction return, we are required to provide a receipt number of the original return and receipt number of the previous return. Then we are required to provide the name of the deductor. That means our detail we are required to provide. My name is say this Chakravarti. Then if I have any branch, yes, it is Kolkata. It is not ministry, department, etc. are not relevant because we are using it as an individual HUF. So these PO code, PO registration number are not required because in case if a government is the deductive, then only these are required to be submitted. Name of the premises, say I'm providing the detail. My city is Kolkata. My PIN code number is this one. Obviously, my state is West Bengal. Telephone number, email, there is no asterisk mark. I'm not providing. Then whether I have GST number, I do not have GST number. Has address changed since last return? In the last return, I provided the same address, so I will select no. If I have changed the address, I'm supposed to select the appropriate option. Now, particular person responsible for deduction of tax. In my organization, there may be cases that suppose in case of company ABC Limited, ABC Limited is the deductor, but in the ABC Limited, the person who is responsible for deducting that TDS may be different. That should be an individual. So we are required to provide the detail of the person who is responsible for deduction of tax. It may be sole proprietor, it may be your manager, it may be your accountant, anyone. So you are required to provide the detail of the person responsible for deduction of tax. Be careful. In this number 2 field, we are providing the detail of deductor. That means our detail of company, etc. However, in this third number table, we are providing the person who is responsible for deducting TDS. Say on behalf of D. Chatterjee, Mr. M. Chatterjee is responsible for deducting TDS. In that case, we will provide the detail of M. Chatterjee in this field. If the person who is responsible is the same, more generally in case of individual, both of them would be same. However, in case of company, it would be different. So in case if both of them are same, then we will use same as above. Else we will provide the detail thereof in this entire field. We'll save it. They are asking for a path for saving. I'm saving it in download in that folder only. Okay, I've saved the file in this. Now, after saving this, we are continuing with Challan. After filling this form, we are now to provide the detail of challan. So how many challan we are required to use? For say for the month of the April, we have used 4 challan. We paid this money in 4 challan, just like we already discussed. Similarly, for the month of May, there is 1 challan. For the month of June, there is no challan. So altogether, there are 5 challan I'm required to use. So I will add the number of row by clicking this add row. How many row I required for the month of April? There are 4 challan. For the month of May, there is 1 challan. And for the month of June, there is no challan. That means I did not deducted any TDS in the month of June. So altogether, there are 5 row I required. I will click over here. So these are the rows are added in the challan tab. We will provide this detail one by one, the detail of challan in this sheets. So amount of TDS in my first challan, there is a 7,000 money has been deducted by us. The section number was 7,000. We have paid, deducted, check number. It is not required. This is required only in case of government organization. Last BSR code, that is again required for government or BSR code. Now this field are required to be furnished by us. It is a BSR code. What is the BSR code? We already discussed. Where you will find in the challan itself, you will get the detail of BSR code, serial number, date. So I'm providing a BSR code. So it is a 7-digit code. I provided it 7-digit. Date on which amount was deposited. So it was paid on 7th May 2024. In case there is an error in providing date, so it should be provided in this DDMMYY format. If you have any issue in providing date, you may use the calendar which is available at the in this field. After providing the date, serial number of the challan, it is a 5-digit challan serial number. If it is not 5-digit, make it 5-digit by prefixing as many as 0 in the serial number. Say it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So made through book entry. No, I did not pay through book entry. Interest, I did not pay any interest on this one. Other charges is there is nothing. What is the minor head of challan? It is TDS payable by the taxpayer, or it is TDS paid by me on the basis of assessment made by the department? No, sir. If you are paying TDS, that means you deducted TDS and on self-assessment you paid that money. In that case, we will use 200. And in case department send you a notice, you are required to deduct so much tax from this transaction. You fails to deduct that one, please pay. In that case, if I'm paying that TDS amount in this way, then we will use 400 as a minor head of the challan. Ideally, generally, we are using 200 because when we are filing return in the regular compliances, we will use 200. So this is the first challan we have inserted. Now comes to second challan. I have another challan that is for 10,000. We'll provide the detail 10,000. Similar process we will use. Again, serial number, BSR code are required. Since I'm using the same bank while making payment, same process, the BSR code would be same. However, date may be different, but in my case, it is same because I made all of this 4 challan as on 7th May 2024. After that, this number should be different. It should not be the same for the same date and same BSR code. So I'm making it. It is no book entry, and again it is 200. Now comes to third challan. Third challan is 5,000. Right now, they are not asking for section number. They are not asking whether it is a corporate SSE or it is a non-corporate SSE. Again, in the entire process of furnishing return of TDS, they will never ask whether the challan is relating to corporate SSE or challan is relating to non-corporate SSE. Okay, but at the time of making payment, you are required to be ensure yourself to select the appropriate option, whether you are making payment for corporate SSE or you are making payment for non-corporate SSE. Be careful. In the entire process of TDS return, they are not asking. Again, if these are the same, we can copy it. And if these are the same, we can copy it. And then next challan is of 12,000. Now for the month of May, I have deducted 4,500. BSR, if I'm using the same bank, BSR would be saved. The date, it may be on 5th of the June. Say in this case, I'm facing problem in putting some date. I can use this date field. For this date field, right now it is showing current date. It is Feb 25 3rd. If I want to go year by year, it is Feb 24. If I'm supposed to go month backward, accordingly, I will use this button. It would be 5th of the June. So it was paid by me on 4th of the June 2024. The serial number I am providing. Again, it is for 200 number. So we have provided detail of challan, that is 5 numbers. And if we have many challan, we can provide in this way. We will save this one. The same path we will save. After saving this one, we are supposed to provide information in Annexure 1. Here we are required to provide the breakup, the deductive wise detail in this field. This is the one of the important aspects of filing TDS return. So first in this 3 tab, first we provided form initial information relating to us. That means my TAN number, etc., my PAN number, the quarter, the period, my name, etc., the name of the company, etc. Then we provided the detail of the person who is responsible for deducting TDS. After that, we have provided the number of challans for which we are using this in this return. We discussed in the month of April, we have deducted challan. We have paid TDS by using 4 challan. We have provided this one by 4, and in the month of May, there is one more challan are there. So altogether, there are 5 number of challan are there. So I add 5 rows and provided the details of the challan. In this detail, more generally, what we have provided, basically we have provided BSR code, then a serial number and date and amount of the challan. Okay. It is more than 5 characters are there, so I'm required to reduce it. After this, we are supposed to provide the detail in Annexure 1. So how many deductee we are using for this return? How many deductee we are using? It may happen that in the month of May, We also deducted TDS under section 194H for X. It will be considered as a separate deductive. So altogether, there are 3 plus 3, 6, and one more time in the month of May, it is Mr. X. So altogether, there are 6 deductees are there. So we will add as many as row. Insert a row. How many row for Challan number 1? We need 2. For Challan number 1, we need 1. Challan number 2, we need 1 row. For Challan number 3, we need again 2 row. And for Challan number 4, we need 1 row. And for Challan number 5, we need 1 more row. So altogether, there are 7 row we required to add our deductive. For Challan number 1, we need 2 row. This is the 2 row. For X and Y, we need 2 row. These are the 2 details we are required to insert for this. And for this one, we need to add this 1. For this, we again need 1. For this, again, we need 1 deductive detail. And for the month of May, there is only 1 deductive, Mr. X are there. So we added as many as row which we required. That depends on our need. Okay. Now, for Challan number 1, these are the information they pulled from this sheet Challan. They pulled the information relating to our BSR code, date of payment, and voucher detail, that is serial number. Now they are asking section number against which we are paying this paid this money. So first we are paid for 194H. So I will select 194H from the drop down. The code number is 94H. Altogether 7,000 are used. So we need PIN number of the deductee. The PIN number of the deductee is, say I am providing, these are the non-corporate assessee. Okay. Name of the deductee, if it is in your record, I provided this name. Then date of payment, when we paid this money to him or credit. We know that under section 194H, we are required to deduct TDS at the time of making payment or credit, whichever is earlier. So the system now want at on which date you are supposed to deduct TDS. That means the date of payment or credit, whichever is earlier. Since it was deducted in the month of the April, so ideally it should be in the month of April. It was on 10th April 2024. Amount paid. So how much money I have paid? We deducted 5,000. So it is 1 lakh. TDS amount is 5,000. On 194H, rate of TDS is 5% up to 30th September. After that, it was reduced to 2%. Surcharge, there is no surcharge. There is no health and education cess. So total tax deposit by me out of 7,000, 5,000 belongs to him. Date of deduction, yes, on 10th April, I have deducted this money. There was issue in TDS date. So we will use this one. That is the 10th of the April 2020. 3rd April. It should be 10th April. One more error are there. Should be 10th of April. Yes, 10th April 2024. If I have deducted TDS at lower rate, then we are required to provide the reason for lower rate. We will discuss this one after some time. Right now, we did not deduct TDS at lower rate. So the providing reason for deducting TDS at lower rate or nil rate are not supposed to be provided. Deductive code, it is automatically would be there. Rate at which TDS was done, it is 5%. It was paid by book entry, no. certificate number that is relevant in case of where the assessee have, where the payee have lower TDS certificate. We will discuss this part afterwards. Amount of cash withdrawal that is applicable in case of 194N. Since we are not deducting TDS under section 194N, we are not supposed to provide this information. So first information we have furnished. Again, we need to provide the second option, 94H. Where it is? Yes. Deductee number 2, we need to provide the PAN number of the deductee. The date of deduction was 15th April 2024. Again, an issue with my keyboard, I believe. Yes, the rate of TDS was 5% on TDS was 2%, so it would be 40,000. 2,000 was the amount of the TDS. Surcharge is nil. The deduction was made on 15th April 24. So it was again at 5%. Again, we are not required to provide this detail. Similarly, the next one is for 194H for corporate assessee. So again, the section number would remain same. 94H. Here, the name is the corporate assessee. So I'm using the number of corporate assessee. It is MSPL. The date of deduction is 25th April 2024. It may be any date. The amount of TDS was 10,000. It is 5%. So the full value would be 2 lakh. TDS is 10,000. There is no surcharge, no health and sales, education sales. And it was on 25th April 2024. So deductee code, it is 1. Corporate assessee, non-corporate. It is 5%. Then the third one is for 194A. So from the drop down menu, we are supposed to select 194A. The code number is 94A for this one. Then we need to provide information for PAN number P. The amount is 2,000. So again, be careful. Partnership firm are considered as a non-corporate associate. It was on 13th April 2024. The rate, it is 2,000, so it was 10%. 20,000 is there. Rate of TDS was 2,000. 0, 2,000, 2,000. The deduction date is 13th April 2024. And it is 10%. Then again 194A is there. So I will submit this one, provide the information again for there is Mr. Q. So I'm making another PAN number. It is on 20th April 2024. 3,000, that means 30,000. 3,000. More or less, it is same. Then for fourth challan, it is for 194A again. So we are required to select the challan of 12,000. This is the name of the company. Deduction was made on 30th April 2024. Is 1,20,000. TDS is 12,000. No surcharge, no cess. Then it is on 10%. Then for last one also, we need to furnish, it is for 194H. So we need to provide 194H, or it may be for C, G, H, anything. Say I'm making it 194H. The pen number, it is from the same person, and so I'm using the same pen number. It is Vikas Mundara. The date of deduction, it is on 31st May 2024. Again, there is, I made some mistake in providing date. So amount is 4,500 is 5%. It is 90,000. That's all. After filling this, after providing this, that means all informations are submitted properly. Few more information, few more process we are required to be done in this, and the goal is that we will generate a FUV file. By clicking this create file, we will generate a FUV file where some details are missing. So it is since it is all a dummy, it may not be possible to create the file one, but I will show you the process. The flat number where it is required. Is required. So I have provided this one. I will press on create flat number deductor employee here also required. Email ID, that is mandatory. It is mandatory since we are required to provide this one. I provided this one. Again, they will ask for here too. Then save it and then create. Designation is required. Say his manager. Okay, lots of informations we are required to provide. Yeah. After providing all the information, we will got this type of page for generating our FVU file. For filing TDS return, we need the .fvu type of file. It will be generated automatically. We are not required to worried about that. But before that thing, we are required to provide a CSI file. That is whatever information relating to Challan we have provided in this method. In this, the system want to confirm whether this information is correct or not. If this information is not correct as per their record, you are not able to file your TDS return. So in theoretically, we use that the dummy random numbers, random dates. Here, this is the check whether the same 10 number, the person having the 10, this 10 number, paid this money as on this date, and that Challan have corresponding details like BSR code, serial number, date, amount, etc. For doing so, we need a CSI file. Generally, from where we will got the CSI file, we will best bet is go to the TNSGL site. Else you can generate by using this is Challan status, or we can visit for CSI file. We can visit this site, TNSGL site. Here we can search service. Even you can use Google. Download CSI file. Okay, this one. Here it is. It is scene based. How to we need to check Challan status inquiry. 10 based view. Say I'm using 10 number of another person. Say it is from 7th, not 7th. It is from 1st of May 2024. It is up to 23. Say I'm showing you how it works. Need to provide this one. This is download Challan file, or you can view Challan detail. Whatever with the number of deductee this person have deducted, the payment made by them are reflecting over here. If you want, you need this file, download Challan file. You are required to download this Challan. This is CSI file. This is the CSI file. Since all our data used in my return are dummy, so it is not possible to verify this information through the system. So after downloading that file, we are required to provide the path of the file where the path where the CSI file is stored. After providing all this information, we will get an FUV file. We are required to upload that FUV file in the system. How we will do that one? That means I presume that we got a FUV file through this software. We generated an FUV file, and that FVU file are required to be uploaded in the TDS system. For that, where we are supposed to go? We are supposed to go to again e-filing portal. Here, my screen is visible. Is it clear to all? Anyone have any question till now? Anyone have any question till now? How to fill the TDS return? Is it clear to all? 26Q we are discussing how to provide basic detail, then Challan detail, and then deductee detail. In 26Q we are required to provide all this information and how we are supposed to fill that form. Is it clear to all? Sahil Kumar is asking, ITR4 is done. Yes, it was done in last session. Branch column is mandatory to all. Yes, right now it is mandatory to all. It is mandatory to fill. Anyone have any query? Please raise. How row is inserting? Okay, I'm showing you how to insert row. 1 minute. In this Challan, say if I want to add Challan, say I need to add more Challan. Say I need one more Challan to add. So I will use this. Look at the lower part of your screen. It is add row. Here we will add. You are required to provide the number of rows. How many row you are want to add? Suppose I need one more row. I will click over here 1 and then press OK. It will add one row into the Challan sheet. If you want to add in the annexer detail, that means deductee detail, it is serial number, Challan number wise row you are required to provide. Say in Challan number 1, against this Challan number 1, against this Challan number 1, we have 4 deductee or 2 deductee. So as many as row we are required to add in this table. Say like this, insert a row for Challan number 1. How many row we need? For Challan number 1 cover 2 deductee, we will use 2, we will add 2. In Challan number 2, there is only 1 deductee, we will use 1 row. For Challan number 3, we have 2 deductee, we will provide 1. And accordingly, we will select the number of deductive wise in the Challan, in the particular Challan, how many deductees are covered. Accordingly, we will fill this screen and then press OK, and as many as row would be there. Is it clear? How row is inserting? Is it clear, sir? Your screen is blur. My screen is blur. I'm really very sorry. Check your net connection. I believe, sir, on what basis surcharge and cess are charged? In case of resident person, I believe surcharge and cess are not applicable in many sections. Okay. It is visible, clear this screen. I believe CSF downloaded with, yes, you can download it without login. We did not take 2% or 5%. No. The percentage in case of 194H is 5%. It is was that 1 or 2 is the deductive code. Regarding Pratik, regarding consolidation file, console file we will discuss afterward. That file is required in case you need to correct. You need to file correction statement. In case you need to file original return, regular return, you don't need consolidation file. Okay, Pratik, we will discuss that one after. Dhruvi, Sony, in my end, you started with PAN number. In case of PAN number, payment of TDS is not there. In case you provided 10 number, then there was an option for payment of TDS would be there. Dhruvi, is it clear? Priyanka is asking, once TDS is filed, then can we rectify? Yes, you can. Without login, you can. Goswamiji, you can download CSI file without login. Payment is the money transfer by deductor to the government, and the return you are providing the information against which you deducted TDS. That is that information you are required to be provided by using this return. FUV, I did not never open after generating that FUV file. I never opened that one. Okay, but if you ask, I will show you in that next session how it looks like. Changes in the current budget will affect these things? No, right now, no. The only rate of TDS or threshold rate would be different. Threshold limit are going to be changed. This part would not supposed to be changed. Anthony Prince, please go through the provision of TDS. Okay. By which date we are required to deduct TDS, the date of deduction. Generally, we are supposed to deduct TDS on the basis of at the time of payment or making credit entry, whichever is earlier. Generally, in some cases, it is on payment basis also. Yes, you, Mariappan, you can amend your TDS return. TDS to be given on payment to creditors or to be booked. Yes, if you are making payment to your creditors, that means on the in that case you are required to deduct TDS under section 194Q. That is also covered by section 94. That is 26Q. You can furnish that information too in your written 26Q. Janani, I already shown how to download CSV file. Where you have uploaded TDS written 10 to 12 times. Now, what is this? You can use this software for dummy practice, how to fill this one also, how to fill the return. But you will not get CSI file. You are not able to upload that file. Okay. So I believe there is no question till now. Now we are going to discuss how to, after generating FUV file, what should be done. After generating FUV file through that software, we are required to upload that file into the system, into the income tax portal. How to do that one? For doing so, we need to visit incometax.gov.in. This is the same portal where we are using for filing our income tax return. Here we will use this login. Then we are supposed to use login ID. Be careful. Suppose for this SSC, if you want to file income tax return, log in using PAN number. If you want to file TDS return, log in using 10 number. Be careful. Please insert 10 number as a user ID. Again, I am repeating, if for this particular SSC, say for this SSC D Chatterjee, if I want to file income tax return for this particular SSC, then I will use login ID as PAN number, permanent account number. On the other hand, if I want to file TDS return on his behalf, I will use 10 number, his 10 number, TDS tax deduction and collection account number as login ID. So I'm using that one. Again, I am repeating, this is the 10 number for which I am supposed to file return for return of TDS. Don't use PAN number while filing TDS return as a user ID. Then we will continue. I'm supposed to provide the password for this one. Hopefully it is remembered to me. Yes, it is. No, it is not. No. 1 minute. One minute. I'm tracking my password file. One minute. Is not working right now. Using another 10 number. Okay, got it. 1 minute. Need to use another login ID. Okay. I got the problem. I find out the problem. The problem was with caps lock. Aha, it is not working. It is not working right now. Okay, it worked for another person. Just a minute. Yes, right now I'm sharing. After generating this file, FU file, we are supposed to visit this portal. Again, I am repeating, this is not PAN login. We are using 10 number as a login ID and separate password would be there. After logging into this, we are using this e-file tab, e-file, and we are supposed to file a TDS return. So I will use the search form 26Q. I need to file. This is the TDS deduction of tax at source from TDS. We are required to file now. We need to file now. So we will select this one. This is not working right now. Right now, this is not working. After clicking this file now button, we will got a screen where they will ask the period for which you are filing this return. It is 24Q or 26Q, etc. And then you are required to upload the generated FUV file in the system. After that, you are required to verify your return. How to verify your return? You may verify your return by using your digital signature, and you may verify your return using Aadhaar based OTP on Aadhaar based mobile number, and using bank account detail, net banking, etc. Generally, we use two type of mechanism, that is OTP based or digital sign based. Once that would be done, then you will get an acknowledgement number, and that would be considered as a filing of your TDS return. That is the process. Right now, the process is not working. The file now button is not available because the TDS return for this one is already furnished by me, but it should be worked, but it is not working right now. So it is not possible for me to process to show you that screen. It is not working, so it is not possible. I believe you consider my problem. Uh, I show you how to generate, how to fill TDS return 26Q by using free utility software provided by the TIN NSDL. Now, what was the step we have taken in TDS part? First, we deducted TDS as per the various provision of the income tax law. We know we learned all this provision while studying our intermediate. It is 192, that is relating to salary, etc. Then we discuss 194J, 194C, 194H. We all knows about all these sections. After that, after that, that amount of TDS deducted by us are required to be deposited with the to the credit of the central government by the next seventh day. By the end of the month, where seventh of the next month, we are required to deposit that money. The only exception is that the money are in the month of March. If you have deducted TDS, then we have extended due date up to 30th April of the year. That means for the month of March, we can deposit our TDS money by 30th April. After depositing TDS on monthly basis, we are required to submit a quarterly return. Ideally, in case we do not have non-resident person, we do not have TCS, we are required, we have two type of return. Number one, that is 24Q, and number two is 26Q. 24Q, if we have deducted TDS against salary, then we are required to furnish form number 24Q. Else, for all payment to resident, in general, we are required to furnish form number 26Q. One more thing, while making payment of the TDS to the credit of the government, care should be taken that the Challan we are required to generate section wise and type of SSC. It is corporate SSC or non-corporate SSC wise Challan we are required to pay. Then return, we are required to consolidate all the information in a single return apart from salary. That all information are required to be submitted in form number 26Q. In that 26Q, we downloaded a utility from the TIN NSDL site. In that utility, we have three type of sheets. Number one, basic details. In that, we are required to provide for which period we are furnishing what is my TAN number, PAN number, what is my my detail, my name, that was the name of the director, etc., address, etc. Then in third part, we are required to provide the information relating to the person who is responsible to deduct TDS. It may be different from the person who is supposed to deduct TDS. Then we provided the detail of challans in another sheet, and in third sheet we provided the detail of deductee, Challan wise deductee details we have provided. After that, we downloaded a CSR file that would be merged, and then we generated an FUE file. Since the Challan CSI file is not workable because we have dummy data, so it is not possible to generate FUE file. After generating FVU file, we are required to log in into the income tax portal using TAN number as a user ID. Be careful, it is a different login credential for income tax return and different login credential for your TDS return. Then we are required to upload that return in the system, and we are required to verify by using OTP based verification, which will be generated on the mobile number of the Aadhaar based mobile number of the person responsible to deduct TDS, or we can use digital signature, etc. Once verification has been done, an AD will be generated, and that denotes you have furnished your TDS return on that date. If you fail to furnish your TDS return by the due date, you are liable for a late fee of rupees 200 per day, subject to maximum of amount of TDS or TCS involved in that return. Is there any question, any query? One more thing, you have one PAN number, but you may have more than one TAN number. One more thing, if you have no deduction or no collection, you are not supposed to furnish TDS return. If you did not deducted any TDS against salary in this quarter, you are not required to furnish form number 24Q. If you deducted, if you have no deduction there is no deduction at all under any of the section, you are not supposed to furnish any TDS return. Is it clear to all? We have couple of minutes. If you have any question, any query, please raise. Ah. Mohammed Saif, sir, is the detective receive any message or something whenever any TDS detected? How to come knowledge of detective of the this is after furnishing this TDS return. Generally, what I'm doing. Say after the end of this 31st January, that means the due date for filing return for third quarter. TDS return for third quarter comes to an end. On first Feb, I go to my personal income tax and view my AIS report of 26 AS, and there I can view is there any deduction my deductor has properly furnished the return or not. To that we can. Okay, that means we are required to go through our 26 AS and AIS report. Deductee are required. One more options are there. You can ask for a TDS certificate from your deductor. Sir, if a person is salaried person, then how tax are levied? Sunny Shaha, please go through section 192. Your employer are required to calculate your salary considering your other informations, and whatever with the amount of tax on that figure, you are that much money are required to be deducted by your employer. Please go through section 192. Then any threshold limit? What is Isha? What are you trying to ask? Any threshold limit? Whatever with the threshold limit are there, we already know in the intermediate. Say 194J, that is in case of professional service. 30,000 is the threshold limit. In case of brokerage, 15,000 is the threshold limit. We already did, we know, we learned all these things in theoretical discussion in intermediate. If a person is a salaried person, then how tax are levied on CTC or in hand salary? Please go through section 192. Surely I will, whatever be is not there, site is not working. If I will try to show that part in our next class, surely I will do it. If we do not have any 10 number, then you are required. If you are liable to deduct TDS, Dhruviji, in that case, you are required to obtain a 10 number by making an application in 49B. By using application number 49B, which is more or less the process is more or less similar to filing for PAN application, that is 49A. Okay, 49B in the application, you are required to apply for 10 number in 49B. Book entry adjustment, that means TDS. Generally what happened, government departments are not making actual payment of TDS. They are making the payment by using book entry. That means one department is debited and another department is credited. That means their book adjustment are required to be done. That's why they are asking for book entry. But all private parties like me, you, your company, etc., non-government organization are required to pay deposit in through banking channel. That's why book entry adjustment are relevant only in case where deductor is a government party, is a government or department of government. Lakshmanji, it is your very basic query. Budget 2025 is not relevant for assessment year 25-26. The rate proposed in the budget 2025 is not for assessment year 25-26. What are the code for corporate and non-corporate deductee? Corporate debt, we know that Challan we are required to be paid on the basis of corporate assessee or non-corporate assessee. That's why they are asking for that one. We are required, first of all, we are required to deduct TDS. Then we are required to deposit that money to the credit of the government, and then we are required to provide the information to the government against which we have deducted that money through TDS return. That are the process. Goswamiji, may I practice with real pen and pen? Please don't. Is it allowed to deduct the whole TDS amount from one salary? I am Priyanka ji, I am unable to understand. What is my understanding regarding your query is that whether in one shot you may deduct TDS against your salary, or you are required to deduct TDS on monthly basis. It is up to you. In case of salary, you may deduct TDS in one shot too. That means within a financial year. That goal is that within a financial year, your employer is supposed to deduct that much of money as a TDS from your salary. It may be in the month of May 2024. It may be in the month of March 25. But out of your salary, that much money should be deducted within the financial year. That is the goal. In case of salary, it is without paying any interest. You can do so. After Karthik, after downloading that utility, in the utility, you can unzip that utility and you will find a window batch file. You will use that batch file. Bank of the interest come under section 194A. Q 24Q we will discuss in next session. You can download that return preparation utility through Protean, that is NSDL site. Priyanka, I think your query is clear. If my understanding is clear, I believe you. I cleared your doubt. Okay, hope so. There is no question, no query left. I believe it is clear to all. Okay, there is no question, no query. So we are going to conclude this session, and in next session we will discuss about 24Q lower TDS certificate, the provision relating to that we will discuss in our next session. Meanwhile, okay, there is no question, no query are pending. Shall I say good night? Hopefully it is clear to all. It is we are trying to make you able to work. We are trying to provide a working knowledge to you so that whenever you do practice all these things, you will get the information. Not only theoretical part, you are able to do. You are able to work. You are able to execute the work. Okay. With this note, I believe. Each and every aspects clear to all of us. If it is yes, then please comment. Still, if you have any doubt, any question, please make a comment in my YouTube channel. On any of the video, you can make a comment. I will reply. Hopefully you enjoyed the session.
Shall I end the class now, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.